billion years ago.
Now you say came about, but stellar evolution, planetary evolution has never been observed. I mean, no one's ever seen a star form, and the stars apparently form from gas. But how are you going to get dust to condense into a solid star? So this is a fancy, cute story that you have, but it's part of your religion, Tim. And it's and I'm, I believe in freedom of religion, and you can have your religion and you can believe in your God, but at the end of the day, it's not science.
I'm sorry, it is science, and I did specifically say at the beginning of this talk that I am not a science expert.
Well, I thought we're talking about each other's religions. I'm giving you answers to my religion. You're giving me answers to yours.
No. When I state some scientific facts, I can't back them up personally, but I know they are, evolution is by 99.9% of evolutionary biologists, people in the field, believe in evolution, and evolution is a fact. It's one of the most proved scientific theories.
Well, you can say that mantra all you want, but you keep using the word evolution. Now, we can actually break it down into 5 definitions that would prove you have a religion. For example, cosmic evolution, which we've touched on, that'd be the origin of time, space, matter, the Big Bang. We have no evidence for that. As a matter of fact, first and second laws point to a creator, points to biblical creation. Check mark for us. Chemical evolution, for example, the origin of higher elements from hydrogen. We know there's 92 elements plus synthetic ones. How'd they come about? Stellar and planetary evolution, origin of stars, planets. Like I said, no one's ever seen a star form. There's trillions out there. We could all own a trillion to ourselves. How'd they all get there? Organic evolution, which would be the origin of life, lists chemicals to life, non-living material. That's never been observed. Macroevolution, one kind into another, new information being added to the genome. That's never been observed. What we observe is microevolution, change and variation within a kind of animal, within a species. We see a barrier and a limit. The first 5 are purely religious. That's why I say you have a God. I understand that you don't understand the science of it, but that just means you don't understand your religion, okay? Because that is a religion. First 5, purely religious. 6th definition, microevolution, variations in a kind. We see that. Go ahead, Tim.
I've heard all this before. You seem to be parroting Kent Hovind.
And what would be your response to it all? So you must have done some study if you've heard it before. What's your argument against it?
Well, I think, if you want my opinion, Kent Hovind has no teaching qualification.
Okay, so ad hominem attacks is your arguments? That's not very good.
No, just let me finish on that. He has his doctoral thesis, a purchased one, not one that's been studied for. And in fact, if you want to read his doctoral thesis, it is online and it's gibberish.
Well, these arguments didn't originate from Kent Hovind. You could look up Henry Morris, Duane Gish. You can look up scientists like Dr. Jonathan Sarfati. You can look up Dr. Jason Lisle. I mean, sure, Kent Hovind has some of the same arguments young Earth creationists do. I believe he's well educated. If you don't want to call him doctor, call him mister. But these arguments didn't originate with Kent Hovind. So let's attack the arguments and not his doctrinal thesis. What do you say about everything that I just said? Do you believe those things are testable and repeatable science? The first 5 definitions of evolution, is that testable and repeatable?
The age of the universe is virtually a proven fact.
You can say that all you want. It doesn't make it true. It's a mantra that you guys like to say. It's a religious mantra.
So scientific research, scientific measurements are a religion to you. Is that what you're saying? That science.
I'm sorry, Tim. No. Science means to know. How do we know? Well, through observations, testing. demonstrations, retestings. We know dogs produce dogs. We know elephants produce elephants. That's scientific. We know that. You want to say dogs and elephants share a common ancestor with each other based on, I don't know, similarities, homologous structures, similarities in the genome. But at the same time, if I took Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, and Microsoft Excel, they all have millions of lines of code. And if I put those side by side and even hired you, Tim, and gave you a really, really big government grant, you could probably find tens of thousands of identical lines of code. You could probably even look into both programs and conclude a certain level of similarity. Let's say, I don't know, 95% similar. What does that demonstrate? That it evolved from Morse code billions of years ago, or it exploded from electronics department billions of years ago? That proves common design. So at the end of the day, we're inferring based on the evidence. So you want to say that they share a common ancestor based on these similarities. I say they share a common designer. Yours isn't science. Mine's not science. They're both religions. That's why we're talking about religions here. Go ahead, Tim. I've been talking a lot. I'll let you kind of go ahead and address some of the things I've said.